Hi, Namaste. Kundalini from the authentic Tantra Tradition. You asked me that how the Kundalini is understood and explained in the authentic Tantra Tradition. In order to understand that mysterious and unique philosophy, we have to understand the very change in the world. That change is eternal. The world outside, the world in which we live, body, mind, intellect, ego are all subjected to change. Even the cosmos is eternal movement. It is constantly moving, changing. And what moves is nothing but a change. And there is an eternal change in the world. Events, living, relations, progress, failure, success are all change. Pain, pleasure, sorrow, happiness, birth, growth, death are nothing but a change. Earth, sky, solar system, galaxy are all changing at every moment. We like it or not, life is also a change. If you ask the life to stop, it is death. It is yet another change. No one in the cosmos grieves or pleased due to our birth and death except our own relations. We have created clinging in this mind that creates pain and pleasure. But eternal law of change continues whether we like it, dislike it, feels pleasure, or experience pain. What is the secret of this change? Prana is present behind the veil that is responsible for change. But then what is prana? Prana is a Sanskrit word found in the oldest written text, Veda. It means first unit of energy, prana. 2 syllables. Prana means the first unit of energy. What exists due to the change, it cannot if change is not there. And the prana is the agent for change. I, you, me, everyone lives, moves and acts due to change. This change is affected by prana from inside and mind from outside. Yes, prana changes the mind and its states, and the mind changes the prana. Means it affects the change we desire. It is a beautiful principle. If you change the prana and its movement, mind changes. If you change the mind, the prana also changes. Many studies on quick and the fast breathing have been done. And if one does quick and a fast breathing for a couple of minutes, we experience the alpha spindles in the brain. That indicates a deeper state of relaxation. But the Tantra tradition had discovered the secret, how the prana in the mind can lead to awakening the inner potential. When the mind knows consciously that it changes due to prana, when prana knows it affects the change by the mind, you know what happens? The prana merges into the mind and the fusion takes place. Fusion releases the tremendous energy. And energy by default, when it is pure, moves upward to the higher consciousness. It takes the mind upward for transformation. It is awakening. It is awakening. When the mind merges with the higher consciousness because of rising of the prana from the lower to the higher consciousness. So again the question comes, the fall in consciousness is what nature operates. When the nature operates in all of us, which is totally pre-programmed, that happens in animal kingdom. That is what the Tantra says, the fall in consciousness. Rise in consciousness is affected by the prana in the mind. It becomes Kundalini. That is why Kundalini is known as the power of real self. It is known as Atma Shakti. It is known as the force of the self or the consciousness force. It is a metaphor that it is like a snake. The metaphor of a snake is given because it lives in potentially lower consciousness. Let us tread the path of awakening the inner potential for peace, prosperity, and success. To understand this prana consciously and its movement in over 72,000 energy pathways, knowing the mind consciously, how it regulates the prana and becomes an instrument of rise of consciousness, it becomes the consciousness force, which is Kundalini. Either one can say the rise in consciousness, or we say the rise in the energy from the lower to the higher consciousness. Both ways, we awaken the inner potential. That is the subject matter of Kundalini. Thank you for listening.